A world away from the NHS frontline, dwindling stocks of PPE and global pandemic panic, business is booming for rubber. So this is it, raw latex, the sticky, milky white sap of the rubber tree. And it's from this that natural rubber medical gloves are made. The scandalous shortage of PPE in Britain and the surge in demand worldwide has put unprecedented pressure on manufacturers of gloves in Southeast Asia, at the heart of the global supply chain. And with increased production has come ever greater exploitation of the workers who make them. When it comes to rubber gloves, one country makes 2/3 of gloves worn worldwide. And in Malaysia, Top Glove is king.
Top Glove. We have been saving and protecting lives all over the globe. Top Glove is the world's largest manufacturer of gloves. We can produce 115,000 gloves per minute and almost 166 million per day.
In this industrial sprawl near Kuala Lumpur, nearly every factory is a Top Glove factory. In all, the company has 700 production lines, producing latex and synthetic gloves hand over fist, 74 billion a year. They ship to 195 countries and supply our very own NHS. When COVID hit, Britain and the EU put pressure on the Malaysian government to allow manufacturers to churn out PPE 24/7. Top Glove's profits surged 366% in the past 3 months, and its share price has hit record highs, tripling since January. It's a bonanza, and it's at the expense of an army of 19,000 workers, many of them migrants, shipped in from poorer countries such as Bangladesh, Myanmar and Nepal. Workers are so desperate to publicize their plight that some have risked their livelihoods to speak to us.
हाम्रो सबैभन्दा ठुलो बजार भनेको अमेरिका, युके र जापान हो। हाम्रो फ्याक्ट्री 24 घण्टा नै चल्छ। हाम्रो 2 शिफ्टमा काम हुन्छ 12-12 घण्टाको। अनि त्यसमा थप ओभरटाइम पनि गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ आजकल त।
Just last month, Top Glove's CEO hailed his employees as heroes.
During this COVID-19 pandemic, you are heroes to the world. In Top Glove, we are mindful of our responsibility to pay special attention to your health and safety.
But Top Glove's heroes tell a different story, one of exploitation and abuse. Payslips we've obtained show that Top Glove pays its migrant workers Malaysia's basic minimum wage, just £225 a month. That's £1.08 an hour. They're contracted to work 6 shifts a week and rack up as much as 111 hours overtime a month, more than the 104 hours absolute maximum permitted under Malaysian law.
Through the years we have grown,
With demand more than double capacity, Top Gloves urged its COVID heroes to even work on their 1 day off a week for the princely sum of £1.50 an hour.
Top Glove is the best, better than the rest.
And they make miserly deductions from wages for lateness, which a leading Malaysian employment lawyer told us is illegal.
आजकल हामी एटेन्डेन्स गर्नुभन्दा आधी घण्टा अगाडि आइपुग्नु पर्छ कोरोनाले गर्दा। ज्वरो नाप्नको लागि भनेर हामी लाइनमा बस्नुपर्ने हुन्छ। चाँडै आए पनि हामीलाई तलब भनी उत्तिकै दिएको छ। 1-2 मिनेट ढिला हुँदा बरु उल्टै तलब काटिदिन्छ। होस्टेल भनेर उपचार खर्च भनेर हाम्रो जति भएको तलब छ त्यसमा पनि काटिन्छ। हामीसँग त एकदमै कम मात्र बाँकी रहन्छ।
Top Glove's migrant workers often live for years on end in squalid company hostels, wedged in cheek by jowl in COVID-friendly clusters. With no proper kitchen facilities in dorms, workers cook on naked flames and claim that in some hostels there are no fire escapes. £10 a month, almost one day's wages, is deducted from each worker's salary for rent.
हामी एउटा कोठामा 24 जना बस्नुपर्ने हुन्छ। आफ्नो गोपनीयता भन्ने कुरा हुँदैन होस्टेलमा। हाम्रो ब्लकमा भएको शौचालय सबैजनाले मिलेर उपयोग गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ। होस्टेलको नियमहरू धेरै नै कडा छ। हाम्रो फ्याक्ट्रीमा कामदारहरू धेरै नै छन् अनि हाम्रो सधैँ जसो एक अर्कासँग भेट भइरहेको हुन्छ। हामीलाई एउटै होस्टेलमा बस्छौँ, त्यही भएर कोरोना भाइरस एक अर्का बीच सर्ने डर चाहिँ निकै नै बढेको छ।
We showed the workers' footage to one of Malaysia's top labour rights officials.
Beds are very close, clothes are hanging everywhere because they are not provided with the proper facilities. It's very crowded, and yes, I mean, it's very sickening to see this video, if you ask me.
It was jam-packed migrant workers' hostels in Singapore which led to the most serious outbreak of the virus in Southeast Asia. Next door Malaysia panicked when a cluster of infections was found among foreign workers in the capital, prompting the mass arrest of undocumented migrants. In mid-March, Malaysia imposed a movement control order, a lockdown. Glove manufacturers, classed as an essential industry, were required to protect their workers from COVID-19 and implement social distancing measures, at the risk of having their manufacturing permits revoked. Top Glove insists that it plays by the book and released this video to prove it. But evidence we've seen from several Top Glove factories in Thailand and Malaysia suggests otherwise. This, a crowded canteen at a Top Glove factory in southern Thailand. Here, no social distancing as workers clock in for their shift at a Malaysian factory. During the lockdown, Top Glove workers have been crammed onto company buses plying the routes between factories and hostels. Workers say some improvements have been made, but not enough.
अहिले हामीलाई एकअर्कासँग 1 मिटरको दूरी राख्नु भनेर आदेश चाहिँ आएको छ माथिबाट। तर विभागमा त्यस्तो गर्न एकदमै गाह्रो छ। हामी मिलिजुली काम गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ। त्यस्तो गर्न सम्भव नै छैन। हामीलाई फ्याक्ट्री जाँदा पनि बसमा दूरी कायम गर्न भनेर आदेश आए पनि हामी त्यस्तै गर्न सक्दैनौँ किनकि एकदमै धेरै मान्छे हुन्छ बसमा। कम्पनीले थोरै चेन्जेसहरू त ल्याएको छ तर अझ पनि धेरै गर्न बाँकी छ।
This group of workers, they are not following social distance because they are not advised accordingly at the workplace as well as when they are traveling in the bus and now at the hostel. All they need is only one person, if at all, contacted with someone who has COVID. The entire group of workers will be at a vulnerable situation as what happened in Singapore.
Many of these workers are struggling under crippling debts, having paid up to $5,000 to recruitment agents just to get a job here. Top Glove says it has zero tolerance of debt bondage, but we've learned that some new workers are still paying hefty fees. It's not the first time Top Glove's been in the spotlight. 18 months ago, the UK Department of Health launched an investigation into the company, following allegations of forced labour and even the confiscation of workers' passports. The investigation found that Polico Healthline, one of the biggest suppliers to the NHS, had sold the NHS gloves made by Top Glove. Polico Healthline agreed an action plan, and an audit of Top Glove was carried out last year, which apparently showed the company had made good progress. We've obtained documents which show exactly who Top Glove has been exporting to during the pandemic. Among them, this order docket for a consignment of 2.8 million protective gloves to be shipped in April by Top Glove to Britain's biggest glove supplier. The order was placed by BM Polico, a subsidiary of the Polico Healthline Group. The company declined to give us a statement, but made clear this order was not for the NHS. They insisted that any gloves produced for the NHS had come from a Top Glove factory that was A-rated. We put the allegations about Top Glove to the Department of Health. Tonight they told us, "We take all allegations of modern slavery very seriously and expect all suppliers to the NHS to follow the highest legal and ethical standards.
I strongly believe that UK government has the moral obligation and responsibility telling the hospital not to purchase rubber gloves that has been manufactured in a factory where human rights are not being observed.
Top Glove told us our findings were inaccurate. It says it complies with labour laws and is continuously improving its labour practices. It did not respond to any of our specific allegations. As Top Glove shareholders bask in the boom, the rubber glove heroes of this global pandemic slog it out in distant sweatshops, their cries of anguish drowned out by our screaming for more PPE.